In this video, we will see the hidden superpower that changes everything. Have you ever met someone who wasn't the smartest person in the room, but somehow everyone listened to them? Or have you ever wondered why do some students with average English scores get amazing jobs while others with excellent grammar struggle during interviews? Why do some people make friends instantly while others remain unnoticed? Here's the answer: it's not just English, it's English communication. So, today we are going to discover something that schools rarely teach. Not just how to speak English, but how to communicate in English. Because communication is not about speaking more, it's about making people understand you. By the end of this lesson, you will understand what communication really means, why communication is much bigger than grammar, the seven elements of effective communication, common mistakes, how successful speakers think. Okay, let's begin. Here's an interesting question. If I know 50,000 English words, but nobody understands me, am I communicating? No. Communication simply means successfully transferring your idea from your mind to another person's mind. Imagine your brain is like a computer. Inside it are thousands of thoughts, right? Communication is the cable that transfers those thoughts to another computer. If the cable is weak, the message becomes weak. If the cable is clear, the message becomes clear. So, communication is not about just speaking, it's about transferring meaning. Okay, so now think for 5 seconds. Which sentence communicates better? Sentence A: I'm experiencing physiological exhaustion, or I'm exhausted. Which one? Obviously, I'm exhausted, right? Simple language often communicates better than complicated language. Let me tell you the biggest myth. Many of you think if my grammar becomes perfect, my communication becomes perfect. But that's not true. Imagine this: a doctor tells a patient, your blood pressure is elevated because of cardiovascular irregularities accompanied by systemic vascular resistance. Technically, excellent English. But imagine another doctor says, your heart is working harder than normal. Don't worry, we will fix it. Which doctor communicated better? Of course, the second one, right? Communication is not showing your vocabulary, it's making people understand. Okay? Let's look at real life communication. Where do we communicate? We communicate in school, college, office, business, interviews, meetings, travel, hospitals, airports, with your friends, family, social media, emails, presentation, of course, every single day. So, English has become the bridge connecting people from different countries. Imagine an engineer from India, a designer from Japan, a manager from Germany, a client from Canada. They all communicate in one common language: English. Communication creates opportunities, but poor communication creates confusion. Okay? Now, there is a small story that I want to tell you. Now, two candidates attend the same interview. Both have identical qualifications. Candidate A says, I'm hardworking, I can work under pressure. But candidate B says, last year our team had only 3 days to complete a project. I divided the work, organized daily meetings, and we finished ahead of schedule. Who sounds more convincing? Candidate B, because communication isn't telling, it's showing. What makes good communication? Imagine communication as building a bridge. The bridge has seven pillars. If one pillar becomes weak, the bridge shakes. Let's explore each pillar here. Pillar number one: the speaker. Everything begins with the sender. Before speaking, ask yourself, what is my purpose? Do I want to inform, persuade, request, explain, encourage? Because different purposes require different communication style. Yes. Suppose your friend asks, how was the movie? Would you answer like a scientist? The cinematographic execution demonstrated emotional resonance? Probably not. You would simply say, it was amazing. The ending surprised me. So you should know your purpose. The second pillar is the message. Your message should be clear. Imagine giving directions. Bad communication. Go there, turn somewhere, then maybe left. If you are going to give a clear communication like walk straight for 100 meters, turn left at the bank, the restaurant is beside the bookstore. Remember, specific communication saves your time. And pillar three, the language. Many learners believe bigger words impress people. Actually, clear words impress people. Now you can compare the two terms. I require hydration and I need water, which sounds more natural. Simple English wins always. Okay? And pillar four, voice. Your voice communicates even before your words. Imagine saying, I'm really excited. Or if you are saying the same phrase, I'm really excited. Does it sound excited? The second one, no. So, if you are telling that, how do you feel? The tone matters, right? I'm really excited. Same sentence, different voice, different meaning. So, your voice carries emotion. Okay? Now, you can say the sentence three different ways. I can't believe this. First, as if you're shocked. Second, as if you're angry. And third, as if you're happy. Try telling that. Okay? So remember, the words did not change. Your voice changed everything. And the pillar five is the body language. People often believe your body before they believe your words. Imagine someone says, I'm confident while looking down, avoiding eye contact, crossing their arms. Do you believe them? Probably not. Now imagine someone standing comfortably, smiling, making eye contact, speaking naturally. Instantly, they appear more confident. So, communication is not only verbal, it's visual too. And the sixth pillar is listening. This one is something surprising. The best communicators are usually the best listeners. Why? Because communication is not a speech, it's a conversation. Imagine two people talking. Person A speaks, person B is already preparing the next answer without listening. Is communication happening over there? Not really. So, listening means understanding before replying. So, next time someone talks to you, don't interrupt. Wait 2 seconds after they finish speaking. Then reply. You will notice something amazing. Trust me. Okay? People feel respected. And the seventh pillar is the feedback. How do you know communication worked? Feedback. For example, teacher asks, do you understand? Student nods. Customer says, thank you. Friend smiles. So feedback tells us whether the message reached successfully or not. Without feedback, communication is incomplete. Okay? Now let's see some barriers to communication. Imagine you're sending a WhatsApp message, but poor internet, battery dies, phone hangs, wrong contact, autocorrect changes meanings. Communication failed, right? The same way real life communication has barriers too, like noise, poor pronunciation, fear, lack of confidence, too much jargon, different accents, cultural differences, distractions. So you need to be aware of all these things. Okay? And let me tell you the power of asking questions. Good communicators ask questions instead of pretending to understand. They ask, could you repeat that? Could you explain? Did you mean so and so? So, questions reduce misunderstandings. And also, I wanted to inform about active versus passive communication. Passive means like, I guess, maybe. When it comes to active, I recommend. And if you're saying, like, I'm not sure, but if you're very confident and if you're telling, like, based on the information, I think so and so. So there is a difference between active and passive communication. Confidence doesn't mean arrogance, okay? It means clarity. Many English learners translate from their native language. They speak too fast, memorize instead of thinking, they have the fear of making mistakes, they use different vocabulary unnecessarily, they forget to listen, they interrupt frequently, they focus on grammar instead of meaning. But remember, perfect grammar doesn't guarantee perfect communication. Okay, now I'm just going to give you a fun exercise. You can just try it at your home. You have to describe a pencil. Easy. But now, describe a pencil without saying the word like write, wood, yellow, eraser, or school. If you're doing this, suddenly you become creative. Communication is creativity, not memorization. Okay? So before speaking, you have to give a pause, think, then speak. Ask yourself, is it clear? Is it necessary? Is it simple? Will the listener understand? Because 5 seconds of thinking can save 5 minutes of explaining. Okay, so try to apply whatever we have discussed so far in day to day communication and become an effective communicator in real life. That's all for today's video. Kindly like, share, and subscribe for more English tips. See you in the next video. Bye bye.